what I want to do, I don't really want to record. I want to record 2 videos, but I don't want them to be long videos at all. I want to talk real quick about like the contenders. I'm gonna intro us into that, and then when I bring up Boston, I'm gonna cut the video and then bring us back to talk about them for a little bit, and then we good for the night.
All right, bet.
All right, let me see. We should be straight. I finna hit record. Boom. Yay. Welcome back to the Sideline Story Podcast. I got the legend in the building, feeling queso. What's happening, man?
Chilling, bro. Same shit. Now, how you doing, man?
Chilling, chilling. So I was watching the Commissioner's Cup. Ain't that what it's called? Something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Remember it's
NBA
whatever
Commissioner's
it is
Cup,
called.
yeah.
I was watching me and my bro, shout out to my bro Rod. We was watching it yesterday. We Mavericks fans, and I'm watching this one-sided game, and I'm kind of looking at Oklahoma City, and I'm looking like this is what a real contender's supposed to look like from top to bottom. It's a real stingy defense, and I'm just looking. I'm like, man, they're gonna have to be dealt with. Um, I could see them sweeping their first round opponent easily, and it got me thinking like who's equipped to deal with something like with like this juggernaut for real. So that got me thinking like, what are the real title contenders? I know this is probably something that we'll revisit 2 or 3 times before the playoffs actually start, but uh, this early in the season, I feel like we got a nice little sample size. You know what I'm saying? So, what contenders are standing out to you thus far? That's like that you really bought in on.
For me, I'll stick in the Western Conference first. And mine they kind of a sleeper, but they really kind of not if you think about it. Is the Golden State Warriors. I just really like the way they play basketball. I know it's been kind of up and down the last couple of weeks for them, dealing with like
Right.
roster changes, injuries, stuff like that. I look at the numbers and like when you pretty much leading the league in rebounding, top 10 scoring, top 10 defense, all that, and you got bona fide superstar legend Steph Curry, playoff experience across the board. Even though you lost Klay Thompson, filled that in with Buddy Hield. He's looking nice. Looney is still kind of doing his the intangibles, the things they need. He's really their only like kind of somewhat rim protector. Draymond with a lessened role. But I like that team a lot. They got the young guns out there playing. Kaminga's getting more and more comfortable out there, which is who you really want to see take that leap. We've been waiting on it. So for me, it's the Warriors. They sitting nice in the standings right now. And I just think defensively they're gonna get better and better. The more they like get a like the continuity and keep a steady lineup out there. I like the potential of what they got, and then that championship pedigree. They keep their core there for the most part. They don't go away. So I can really see them giving some teams some fits in the playoffs, and I can see them getting back to a finals and matching up with a potential Boston, who we've seen when they play Boston, they seem to play their best basketball, and it's tough for the Celtics to beat them. So I can see them making a run and getting back to it.
I'm actually on the opposite end of that. I was sold early on in the season, but I feel like they kind of tapered off a little bit. I feel like Curry starting to get like worn down just a bit. I'm not really sold on the core, and to be honest with you, I don't really know what the real core is at this point. I feel like I'm hearing Jimmy Butler name. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that could be a potential destination. I know he said he was interested in the Texas teams as well. I'm kind of not really sold. I think I need to see them make another move for real before I'm actually sold because I ain't gonna. I'm watching this Thunder team and I'm just really looking at them like them and the Mavericks. I even this might be a biased take, but I am biased for the Mavericks. I do feel like we're top 3 West in the team, top 5 team in the NBA. What you think about Houston? I know they don't necessarily have like a closer. They do lead the league in rebounding. Udoka has put a good defensive
Mm.
system in place, especially like with Twin and Thompson and Eason coming off the bench.
Yeah.
I do what this team has. They're still inexperienced. I feel like that'll be their downfall in the end if they happen to make somewhat of a playoff run. But are you sold on them at all?
As far as championship contender, not yet. Just because I want to see Jalen Green kind of take that next step, especially after getting that contract and becoming like that bona fide like number one, like an average 25 a game, especially in today's NBA with that athleticism he got, and like just everything he can do. I feel like he's been kind of underwhelming this year at just 19 and a half points a game. So until they get like a guy that can go out there and give you like a 35 to even maybe 40-point game, it's hard for me to see a team like that being able to win a championship like in today's game. So I think they're a well balanced team. They got a lot of good pieces. Even though Van Fleet's been a little bit down this season, I
Yep.
just think I think like to be able to really compete for a championship, you need like that superstar player, and I don't think they have it quite yet. I think they got potential with Green, but don't really have it, so it's hard for me to see them, making that push and really making that championship run. They definitely surprising a lot of people, 16-8. You know what I'm saying? Top, I think they like maybe 3 seed or something like that, 2 or 3 seed in the West. So they turning some heads, but I just think it's gonna take another move, like a KD trade, man. They over the top with that, but I don't know if they gonna put a trigger on that one.
Yeah, I was looking at Fred Van Fleet numbers. It is having like a little down year. It's not too good. In particular, the 3-point shooting, it's like a six
Hmm.
point dip from 38 to 32%. My only concern with them is, like I said, even though I do like the defense, I like Sengun. I feel like it's a lot of chefs in the kitchen. I've been on record for saying that before, but I feel like when it's like April, May, 2 minutes left in the game, who are you really going to? You know what I'm saying? What if y'all, just hypothetically speaking, say you playing like the Thunder in the second round? The Thunder know who they're going to 2 minutes in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Number two, with the braids, you know what I'm saying? He gonna take it 3 point inside, on down. He gonna operate. He gonna shoot his 54% from mid range, and he pretty much gonna close the game. I don't think Houston has that ability just yet. I feel like they're maybe a year or two away. Um, as far as a true contender, I really, honestly, I see the two teams that we saw last night, honestly, and I don't really know if I got any team over those two. I feel like if you're a Mavericks fan, you can say we didn't have PJ, but I don't really know how much ground he was going to be able to make up in what Oklahoma City was doing last night, because I kind of felt like they came into that game with the mindset of the second half of 2024. We kind of took everything. They kind of processed everything that took place as far as us putting them out of the playoffs, them beating us, no, us beating them in the playoffs, us beating them this year without Luka Doncic on the floor in Oklahoma City. It's like they had a chip on their shoulder. The number one seed currently with a lot to prove, and they kind of came in with that mindset last night. You kind of saw them, they were very stingy. What caught my eye immediately was like the half court defense.
Yeah.
We couldn't generate quality offense to save our lives. Luka at one point was like 1 for 9 from the field. You saw him in the corner. It reminded us, like, when James Harden used to be off the ball in Houston. It was very reminiscent of that, and it's like he just wasn't engaged. We had a hard time even getting the live. Like I said, we just couldn't get none of quality, and it felt like they got whatever they want. We kind of finally got to see what the Hardenstein piece looked like with the rim protection, with the rebound and the inside
Yeah.
scoring. It's just like, if filling the need was a player, it's kind of like him and Caruso, because like that defense, man, they number one in every defensive category. It felt like, and they lead the league in forced turnovers. You can kind of just really see it. The last time I felt like I saw a defense like that, it was in June.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but
I'll say, and just to add to that, in the other Mavericks, they were missing a PJ Washington, but also OKC been playing without Holmgren for a minute now. He's due back, I think they said next month or the month after. So I get it, both teams missing a piece, but I would say that Holmgren is a bit of a bigger piece for OKC than PJ Washington is for Dallas. So yeah, that game last night they just came out flat. Luka was flat. I feel like that was a kind of good like telling game, like to see where teams at, how they stack up. And I think Dallas just kind of fell flat. I would like to see Kyrie or Luca take that game over, kind of like Shea did. But it's like I said, it's only December, so they'll see each other again, and we'll be able to get that hopefully that rematch in the playoffs.
the one team that I do like, and I said, I feel like they could make it to like the Western Conference finals, was Memphis. I feel like that's the one team that you kind of got to be aware of, because I feel like they have a deep team. I feel like they can play some great defense. They got great defensive players. Um, I love the bench. I love Scottie Pippen Jr. I like Jalen Wells, the rookie. Um, I don't know, man. I don't know what Marcus Smart would look like. Maybe
Yeah,
close to the trade deadline. I don't know if he'll be. I'm starting to hear his name amongst some other guys around the league, but I feel like Memphis is a team that you kind of got to keep on your radar for sure.
yeah, and then it's really like they doing it with the offense, averaging over 120, I think like 122 a game, which is not really what Memphis has been known for. So
Right.
they get it done on the offensive end and just putting up points in bunches. So yeah, that's scary. Y'all look good out there.
They also said that if I'm not mistaken, everybody's averaging around like 28 minutes a game. They're not exhausting nobody right now either. So I keeping trying to keep everybody fresh. Josh said he done dunking for right now. So, but let's transition to the Eastern Conference real quick. And to be honest with you, other than I want to keep one team off real quick. I want to start with Cleveland. I feel like Cleveland has come out and they kind of put the league on notice. I feel like Kenny Atkinson has sold the organization. He has everybody buying in, and you can kind of see it. Uh, it kind of feels like, even though you still got like the hierarchy of the team and like the Evan Mobley, Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell. I feel like everybody, even those guys, have like bought in. They don't really care who's doing what as long as we winning. And I feel like that's the real recipe for success. And they got a real nice defense over there too. So
Yeah.
what you see in Cleveland? Are you sold?
Uh, I'm not sold quite yet, but I like what I'm seeing, especially out of those twin towers with Allen and Mobley. Like I think they playing real good, consistent basketball, protecting the rim obviously with Allen. They rebounding both. I think one's averaging 10, one's averaging 9, so they rebounding the ball. And it's being the anchors that you need on defense, especially like when you come against some of these other teams that in the East they got the dominant bigs. Like if you come across an Embiid or Cat is not as dominant, but you got a Cat over there, teams like that. You want your bigs to be able to play and stay out of foul trouble. So they keep that up, that'll be nice. I keep saying it, I'm still not a fan of Mitchell and Garland in the backcourt. I think they undersized, don't play enough defense. I mean, team defense they looking pretty good, but I think come playoff time, some some matchups can be exposed for them. So we'll see how they handle it. But you can't really argue with 21-4, first place in the East. So they're getting it done right now. How long can they sustain it? We'll see. They stand ahead of Boston, so we'll see how long they're able to hold them off. But I don't know if it's gonna be able to last too much longer.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I like Orlando. I can't wait to see this at full strength. That defense is tough. It seemed like I don't know. It kind of feels like I'm trying to think of the team. I want to say like a Tom Thibodeau type team where you just kind of get everything out of all the players that you got.
Yeah,
It's like Paulo goes down, here comes Franz. Franz goes down, here comes Jalen Suggs. And it's like they just doing a lot. And a lot of people like how Anthony Black is looking this year. I'm hearing that that's the team that y'all don't want to see in the Boston Celtics. That's what I kind of what I'm hearing right now. I can't wait to see what they look like in full strength though. What you got?
I can say yeah. The last few years, Orlando has gave us some fits. They just match up well with us, and this year they're playing even better defense. So it's definitely to think about. It's kind of scary. They consistent. Paolo's just getting better and better. You know he's gonna be back in that lineup. Suggs last night. I watched a little bit of that game. He looked really good last night. So yeah, and they just got pieces all around. They still relatively young. They got guys like Jonathan Isaac, Carter Jr. You add a guy like Caldwell Pope, who's a vet. They just got guys that can really get it done. And I mean, defense. I mean, they top three in defense. So I mean, you can't really go against that. The only issue with them is just that offense. We've been saying it. Bottom five
Can't
in
shoot.
offense as well. They can't shoot the ball. They can't stretch the court. So obviously, they got a guy that can get a bucket come playoff time, and possibly even maybe two guys. But I just think you got to be, especially a team like Boston, who you know is going to shoot the air out the basketball. 40 plus 3-point attempt, or I mean, way too many 3-point attempts. You got to be able to, if they catch a wave and kind of knock down like 3, 4 in a row, you got to be able to compete with that and stand fast. And Orlando's offense right now, they haven't shown they can really do it, struggling to put up 110 points. So it'll be interesting to see if they're able to like pivot and find some type of offense. But you can't count them out just because their defense is tough. And yeah, when it comes to Boston, some of these teams just seem to give Boston so much trouble, and they definitely one of the three. I think them, Golden State, then for whatever reason, Cleveland, we get big leads on them, and we always just give them away. So they got a shot.
All right. Before we transition into the next segment, I want to talk about the Knicks before we get up out of here real quick. I'm kind of up and down on the Knicks because it's like from a defensive standpoint, it's not really what I'm used to with this particular group. But I do know like Preston Achua isn't there, Mitchell Robinson isn't there. It's kind of like you got to wait for guys to get back, get their repetition, so we can really see what this thing is looking like in at full force. But from an offensive standpoint, Carl Anthony Towns has been like a revelation. if I'm not mistaken, he's shooting over 50% from three, averaging like 26 and like 12 or something like that. Something crazy. Like him and
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson got the 2-man game going. I just feel like I heard I think I read or heard somewhere they was like they traded for the Phoenix Suns, Mikal Bridges, but ended up getting the Brooklyn Nets, Mikal Bridges. He was used to being a guy for a couple of years over there in Brooklyn, and you signed OG. I really do like this team. I like Josh Hart. I like Jalen Brunson. I like the infrastructure that's been put in place with this team. It's just that from a contention standpoint, I don't really know if I'm really sold on them all the way.
Yeah. I mean, for me, they did have a slow start to the season. They lost some games they should have won. Obviously, that was bound to happen with a fresh trade, a brand new guy coming in, a couple guys really. But I think they look pretty good now. The game last night, they were what was it, last night, the night before, they looked good. But I just think one of the minutes, like we talked about how Memphis is kind of making the minutes not so high for their guys. It's the opposite with the Knicks. Like you got Bridges playing 38 minutes a game, Josh Hart at 37, OG at 37, Jalen Brunson at 34, Cat at 34, and I'm not a big fan of that, especially like come playoff time. I just know how that wear and tear goes on the body, and especially with players who are already injury prone and have had major injuries. I'm not really a fan of doing that. But at the same time, they don't really have anybody reliable on that bench that they can depend on. And right now, you got to win games. You can't really give any games away. So they're trying to maintain that spot they in. I think they have fourth or fifth in the East. You want to kind of build on that. Can't really I mean, I think for them at this point, trading is kind of out of the question. They've made their trades. They kind of got to make do with what they got now, which is a really top heavy roster. So um, they can find some production out of that bench, I'll have a little bit more faith in them. But right now, I just see them as like they're competitive in the East, but come playoff time, I don't see them beating the Bucks. I don't see them beating the Celtics. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even. They have a tough matchup with Orlando as well. So
Yeah, from a minutes perspective, it already feels like they in May, like late May for real. They gotta really address the bench. Like I know McBride is kind of like the only really serviceable coming off the bench at this point, but I don't know what Coach Tibbs gonna do about that. I'm kind of interested to see how they'll go along. That offense is a problem. Like we just got the defensive problems for real, and
mhm.
we just see how that goes.
I
But
mean, they will have Mitch coming back at some point, so that'll help for sure.
yeah,
But yeah, they need another guard out there. McBride can't be the only guard really producing.
yep. Well, that was it for the contenders. We got something else to talk about. Mhm.
Let's do it.
I ended that one. Oh crap. I'm gonna let it finish processing. Then let me see real quick. It's like 33, 30. It's moving pretty fast.
All right, let me go take a.
Bro,
Let's say my young. He just woke up. I'm taking him another room.
I bet.
All right, I'm good.
I'm finna return to the dashboard and invite you right back.
Okay.
All right.
Stream, we here. Like the stream, share the stream. Just getting a couple podcast episodes done. You know, boy Marcus. Getting a couple of these done, and I'll be playing either Undisputed, maybe some Marvel. We'll see. We'll see. For now, we're gonna finish these episodes. Let's see. Oh, this motherfucking head, bro. Bray? Marvel shit is kind of fun though. I ain't gonna kite. Nobody in the Discord niggas and got offline, man. Cap ass niggas, bro. Let me see.
Now you had to do all that over again, did you?
No. I'm good. My stream's still going.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
All right, real quick. I'm gonna record now. All right, so yesterday I was at work. I was listening to some content. I can't remember who in particular, but it was kind of talking. It was pretty much some NBA talks. Pretty much what I'll be listening to at work. It got me thinking about your team because I did think your team name did come up in conversation, and I was just like, "Oh, we sure they're not gonna repeat?" Because I'm looking at the other teams and how they. I'm really being serious, bro. I was watching that game against the Bucks. I know you saw it. It was last
Yeah.
week. It felt like late May for real, like late May. That's the type of atmosphere it was, and I'm just watching, and I'm like, "What's the evidence? Can somebody? I'm a Maverick fan. I love the Mavericks. I'm biased. I do feel like if we played y'all, it'll be different. But I don't know how different. I feel like y'all are a different beast for real because of really the defensive issues that y'all possess and the 3-point shooting threat. I feel like when y'all shooting the three at a high clip, y'all pretty much not gonna lose. That's like it feel real Golden State-ish to me
Yeah.
because there's so many players that's a threat from three. So take your Celtics. You being a fan, put that to the side real quick. If you were just like a random guy that knew NBA, could you sell me that y'all not gonna repeat?
That we're not gonna repeat. So if I was trying to sell that, I guess I would start with just the Porzingis piece. It's just that he came back to the lineup. We saw him turn his ankle again. So I would say that would be my starting piece. Like he's your unicorn. He's supposed to be a starting center, your defensive anchor, your rim protector. But you got to keep him on the floor. I think we saw how he could sway a series in that Mavericks series, that first game, how he came out and pretty much won them that game. He's averaging 20 points even this season, so we know what he can do. But it's a tough matchup, especially against a team like the Mavericks. If you don't have him, you know the Mavs got the Twin Towers with Gafford over there and Lively. Lively, I think is going to be even better come this next playoffs with the experience. So can't put all that on Al Horford. He's long in the tooth. He's getting older. It's probably his last go at it. So we want to be able to have another big that can come in that's not Porzingis and produce. We got Keto, who I don't really think he's going to be able to provide much. Luke Cornett is just kind of he plays when we up a lot, or he's not really getting a ton of minutes, and you can't really rely on him. So at this point, it's Al Horford that's getting the minutes. He's averaging 30 a game, and you got to have somebody else that can come in and fill that void and help out when it comes to a couple of these teams in the playoffs. It's tough to sell against them just because defensively, obviously, you got some probably the best defensive backcourt that we've seen in some time with Derek White, Drew Holiday. Both can protect the rim, especially Derek White. And at the wings, you got Brown and Tatum, who can be all NBA defenders if you know on any given night. So you really don't have anywhere to attack this team. So I think a team that's going to beat them will have to be a very good shooting team. They have to be able to stretch the floor, like pretty much like how Boston can do like a 5-out offense. Have to be something similar to that, to where you can kind of put pressure on them, knocking down a lot of shots. And you got to have a good bench because Celtics got Peyton Pritchard looking like he could be the sixth man of the year right now. And so that's instant offense. So a team that's going to beat them has got to find a way to neutralize him. He's undersized, so I mean, he can get buckets, but he's undersized. So you got to neutralize him. Make sure your bench is putting out good output because the team really doesn't have too many holes to poke at. So you got to just be great at what you got to kind of accentuate whatever you do, whatever you're good at. You got to accentuate it and be almost perfect. So it's tough to sell somebody beating them, but if you're gonna do it, that's kind of how I see it happening. Open Porzingis
Yeah,
heading out there.
I think, like you said, I'm gonna piggyback off some of your sentiments. You do have to be a great defensive team, and to add to that, you kind of have to withstand that 3 point barrage. Because one thing about y'all, like you said, y'all gonna shoot the air out the ball, and also y'all gonna shoot it at a high clip as far as volume. From a volume standpoint, y'all gonna get them up. It's a lot of one-on-one basketball that I noticed too, but y'all can't have a lot of success in that. Because at one point it was just like, can Tatum and Brown play together? But now it's like, why would they ever break up? Because I feel like
Hmm.
they can achieve a lot of success together. I really feel like they feed off one another, and I feel like their relationship was always in a good place. Whether the media may have tried to like, I'm not gonna say pit them against one another or just try to create a narrative that it's two Batmans in a sense. I feel like they more successful with each other. But if I'm looking at the teams and how they measure up to the Celtics, you got to have a lot. Um, it's a lot of criteria that has to be met. Um, Let me ask you this: from the outside looking in, say it's June and you see Oklahoma City on the board. That's who the next seven. Are you concerned, or is the inexperience going in your favor?
I'm not really too concerned just because yeah, like I think the experience it's definitely a plus. But also I just think that we're this even I think we're still a better team even if you take experience out of it. I look at the matchups. I know OKC they got some great wing defenders obviously with Williams and Shea. He can go. I just think when you compare him to Tatum and Brown, it's just kind of like levels too. I think Shea and Tatum you can put them on the same level. I don't think there's a guy on OKC that is on the same level as Jalen Brown. And then obviously the one piece that would be like a super advantage you would think against most teams for OKC is Chet Holmgren. But if you got Porzingis, he was kind of like Chet Holmgren before Chet Holmgren in a sense. So I think he kind of can see how he plays, knows how he plays, and it's just a matter of staying healthy with him. So I think they kind of got a counter for that. The guards, I just think it's tough matchups all across the board for anybody trying to go against OKC, and so even a team like OKC who's formidable on both ends of the floor, I still think that the Celtics are like a notch, just a notch above them to where a 7 games, and that's the thing, a 7 game series, like you got to beat them 4 times out of 7 games, and that's just hard to imagine. It's really hard to imagine.
So I didn't get to see this game, but I do know what took place. It was I believe it was that Saturday after y'all played the Bucks on that Friday. Um, what I heard was the Memphis Grizzlies, the way they approached the game was, we're gonna let Drew Holiday shoot because I'm pretty sure
Mm.
you know more well than others, that Drew is having an off season shooting the ball. Um, if I'm not mistaken, they said Drew was like 4 for 19 from that game, and he attempted like 9 threes when the player was more than 10 feet away from him. So I guess it was like, we'll just dare you to shoot these, and I really wouldn't expect the Celtics to really just come out. Like you said, they just exhausted everything in that Friday night game. It was a big ESPN, big televised game, playoff atmosphere against the Bucks. I'm pretty sure they just didn't have the legs. Memphis came in and pretty much did what they were supposed to do. Is this Drew Holiday shooting slump? Is that a real thing? Are you concerned? Do you think he'll recover from this?
It's not really too concerning for me because he's never really, even when he's in a slump, he's never really gonna be like a high volume. Like that game, he was high volume. I think he took 17 threes that game, made 4 of them. I think that game was more so the team in general was kind of off on their three. Like we shot 30%. Tatum was 1 for 10. Like and we know when Tatum is kind of off from three, especially when he's off, it seems like he's shooting more and more to try and get back on, and that can kind of throw you off. So I think it was just the team 3 point shooting that kind of lost it for us more so than it being Drew. Just because Drew, I think he took that one game to try and get right, but I don't see him like he won't like press the issue and keep doing it moving forward because he knows like, hey, even if I'm not scoring, if I'm not shooting well, I got 4 or 5 other guys around me that can, and I can just make my print on the game being on defense and just making timely plays. So I think that game was more of a Tatum and combined effort from the whole team shooting threes rather than just Drew. But yeah, they left Drew open. He missed some easy ones. Wouldn't bank on that happening for too much longer. We've seen slumps. They come and go. I think he'll get out of it, and there's got so many other pieces that can step up and kind of fill that void to where it's not that big of a deal. I don't think at least.
Because I'm really looking at like the biggest threat to y'all. I do like Cleveland against y'all. The one game we all watched when they when they played against Cleveland just a little early in the season, y'all had it was pretty much a home game where we saw y'all take and make what felt like every three that y'all attempted
Mm.
and got up to a big lead. And we saw Cleveland scratch and claw their way back into the game by playing defense, chipping away at it slowly but surely. I feel like that is the formula, but I don't know how long you'll be able to sustain that. You won't be able to scratch and claw your way back 3 out of 4 games, you know what I'm saying, or 5 out of 7 games. It's gonna be real hard to do. That's a tough ask for any team. I don't care who you are, because everybody not gonna have the personnel, especially on the defensive end. You
Yeah.
have to be able to breeze like the Orlando Magic, for instance. I don't know if they will be able to withstand a barrage of threes by y'all, especially if they can't come back 3 for 3. If you the worst 3-point shooter team, how you gonna combat one of the best 3-point shooting teams? Because y'all gonna shoot a lot of threes. Some games y'all gonna make a ton of threes, and it's gonna just feel overwhelming. I feel like a team like the Cavaliers. I feel like the Mavericks. I feel like the Knicks. I feel like those are kind of the teams that's more equipped because more personnel is in place to be able to combat that. And if you need to trade, I feel like Clay, Kyrie, Luca, PJ, Najee, Quentin, like we got players that are formidable from three. We have serviceable players from the 3-point line. The Orlando Magic, I don't know if they have any. The
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma City Thunder show and Shea. This is the one part of Shea's game where, like, if he unlocked this, he kind of unguardable. And last night we
Yeah.
saw him he can make threes. It's like once he's shooting the three, top 2 point guard. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nobody that could guard Shea for real. Like, hey, so he got the herky jerkies. Like, it's like you're in front of him, but you're really not in front of him. Can't nobody stop him from getting to his spot. And for me, it just feel like he automatic. So I feel like I just went on. I just feel like I just went on a rant. I don't even know where I ended up playing that for real, but I'm just steady looking at the teams. I feel like the Mavericks and the Thunder really the only two. I feel like I might wipe the floor with anybody else in the West. To be honest,
I will say in the East, the one team that like the team that I think that I was kind of off on early in the season, but they've been coming along is the Bucks, and we saw that game last week. Like it was Middleton's first game back, and it felt like a playoff atmosphere. The Bucks they really had that game in the fourth quarter. They just kind of made some mistakes in that fourth quarter and let Boston was more poised down the stretch is what I'll say, just because they got the experience, they've been there, done that. But Milwaukee showed like, hey, we on and we got our what's supposed to be big three, and we relatively healthy. We can compete with anybody. So I think there's history there. Giannis is itching to show that him and Dame is not just it's not a waste. Like, and he's always been a tough matchup, obviously for anybody, but for the Celtics especially, he's a tough matchup for us. So I'm thinking that's my Eastern Conference Finals right there is Boston and Milwaukee. And with a player like Giannis,
oh
who
really?
yeah, that's
Oh,
I got Boston Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I think Giannis is going to be the best player in that series, but I think Boston should be the better team. So it's going to be real interesting to see like which Dame we get if Dame is able to kind of have some big moments for them, like we've seen them have for Portland in the playoffs. It could be a 6-7 game series because they gonna come out there and compete. They got great coaching over there, and you got superstars. So that's kind of a good recipe to take down a top seed is by having they got everything over there in Milwaukee. So we'll see.
yeah, something's starting to fall in place just a tad. Giannis is kind of playing like the best player right about now. Like what 31, 32, and like 12. Dame is like 25 and 7. Middleton is definitely going to be the X factor. I do like the Torian Princes, the Gary Trent Juniors, the AJ Greens.
Yeah.
I like that around them. I feel like there is some 3-point shooting in place. I feel like it just come down to Chris Middleton. Hopefully, he can stay healthy and get the reps. I feel like they'll be able to figure something out and probably get the seeding too out to eventually see y'all in what will be a Eastern Conference Finals. Even though I feel like this year that road will be a little tougher for anybody for the most part.
Yeah.
The Cavs look way better. The Magic look way better. The Knicks, they not the better the best. They not the defensive team they were last year, but offensively, I feel like they took a step forward. The only team really that I had high hopes for was Indiana. They kind of like took a step back. I don't really know what's going on. I'm gonna have to dig deep and pay attention to what's going on over there. But yeah, man, this was pretty much. I was trying to make the case that they won't repeat. I'm sorry if I let any Mavs fans down. I love the Mavs just as much as anybody, but I'm looking at like teams like the Thunder, like the Celtics, it's a certain level of intensity that you just gotta be able to match because I feel like once they turn it on, hey man, good luck. Buenos suerte. But you got anything?
I will say, and one thing with the Bucks, like, when it comes to Doc Rivers and his coaching, one thing I'll give him credit with is that he's had a success in the past, kind of singling out like players to attack on the opposing team, and he's had success like of either getting them in foul trouble or taking them out of a game sometimes. So if they went that route, and I don't know which player they would choose to take out the game, I would assume it would try and be Tatum, but I can see them having some success. But yeah, I think Boston is their chances of repeating. I don't think I've ever. I think this team is probably the first time I've really expected the team to repeat since like it was at Golden State when they had
Right,
KD
right.
and Steph and them. Like when you kind of felt like it was automatic. I almost feel like that with this team. So I feel like barring like something dramatic or miraculous happening, I don't see it. It's just hard to see somebody beating them 4 out of 7 games. So as a
Well,
fan,
actually,
that
my
makes me happy, but I don't know.
mine was Denver. I kind of thought Denver was gonna run that back.
Hmm.
I just couldn't see a reason why they wouldn't win, because I knew y'all was eventually gonna kick the door down. I just knew like y'all just had to kind of get the experience. Tatum and Brown kind of had to take that next leap in order to get it done, and I feel like y'all was able to do it now. With y'all playing like this and like the West getting better, I don't know what I'm doing with Denver at this point. I feel like we'll probably get into that soon. But
Yeah,
hey man, I appreciate you for pulling up, my guy.
I appreciate you having me, bro.
Oh yeah, that's it for that one. Appreciate you.
That was good. I think I know the Warriors game is on now, right? I had a little
Y'all playing
parlay
the
on that game.
Oh yeah, what you got?
I really went kind of Steph heavy on it, so I had like Steph for 25, him for over 3 3 pointers. What else did I have on the parlay? I can't even remember. I gotta go look at it, but let me see. I'm about to check
Bro,
that. Oh, and I had Jalen going for 20 points. I know he averages like 19 and a half, so I had him over. And then Shingun for 8 rebounds. I missed my parlay last night by one Giannis rebound. I was pissed.
word.
Would have won $80, man. I'm light, but one
Hey, nah,
rebound. I was like,
one
come
thing I
on,
learned:
bro.
a win is a win, my G. I ain't gonna hold you.
I'm gonna send it in the chat right now. This motherfucker can give me one more rebound. I was so mad, man.
That Eagles and Rams Sunday night game a couple of weeks ago, I hit for like a buck 80. That
Is that
was true.
the one with Saquon Barkley went crazy? Is that game?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I ain't really
Okay.
did as many parlays as I normally do, but I just did one last night. I thought I had it in the bag, and that motherfucker Giannis.
Wait, so this wouldn't have been a push?
No, because I had him for 8 or more. So
Oh, 8 or more.
if he would have got the 8, it would have been good.
I'm just used to seeing 7.5. That's why.
Okay, yeah.
What is this?
FanDuel Sportsbook.
Oh yeah, that's why. Cause yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I can't.
We
Yeah, don't let y'all use it in Texas. Yeah, but yeah, I was
that's
sick,
right.
and I saw like they was up by 3 with like 10 seconds left, and I was like maybe like something happened and Orlando will hit a 3 and they'll go to overtime. I'm just waiting to see, but nah, it didn't happen. It was just free throws. So is what it is.
Real quick before I let you go, bro. Bro, Overshawn gone for the year.
They saying he might miss half of next year.
Oh, matter of fact, he tore his ACL, PCL, and MCL, something like that, right?
Yeah, he fucked his knee up. Yeah,
Bro, he might not be the same type stuff. Bro,
yeah,
wait, bro.
it's tough, man. It almost remind me of like when we drafted Jalen Smith. They didn't know if he would ever even play or not, but we drafted him off the potential. He ended up having like a season or two that was really good, but
He
then
got paid though. That's the crazy. We gave him
yeah,
like 52.
yeah, but yeah, Overshawn, he's really been like a brightest spot on the team, honestly. Like he's been flying to the ball, just doing everything.
From the Brandon Aubrey, been the
Yeah,
brightest possible.
and just seeing the way that lineman just fell on his leg, that shit, man, that was tough. That
I'm
was
starting
tough.
to give up on the Ashton Genty sweepstakes because I was looking at the draft order. I didn't realize how many bad teams was in front of us. I kind of got discouraged when I saw that.
But normally teams don't take running backs, like especially like lately, like they haven't been taking running backs early. I think Robinson was the last one to really go like top 10, right? Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, Bijan Robinson went. I think he went like 7 to the Falcons. If I'm not, I think it was like 7, something like that.
Yeah,
But
so
I ain't gonna lie, Gentry look kind of like generational type. You know what I mean? I
he's
don't know.
ridiculous. We definitely need to get a. Well, I mean, Dowdle's been good these last couple of weeks, but yeah, I wouldn't mind having Gentry on the
We
squad.
ain't play no. We ain't really play like a premier defense though. The Bengals got like they wasting a crazy Joe Burrow year. Like
Yeah,
I think it's flying under the radar. Joe Burrow, if he had a good defense, Joe Burrow might be like a MVP, like a top 3 MVP candidate because like his numbers is insane right now.
he's leading in everything. Passing. I think him and Jamar Chase are like leading for quarterbacks and receivers. They're like leading pretty much all the major categories. Just
Yeah, that's
yeah,
crazy.
they just can't get the wins. That's the only thing they're missing.
You finna stream?
I think so. I'm trying to think what I want to play, but if ain't none of my homies on, I might not even stream. I'm about to see where they at, but they've been quiet in the chat. So
I gotta play my quarterback. He in the playoffs. I gotta play against the Ravens, so I'm finna do that and then watch you stream. If you stream, let me know.
I'll let you know. I'll send it through in the group chat.
I bet.
All right, bro.